Hello, this is Huntsman9 YouTube. Today I'll be talking about the movement that you need to fix in Shinobi Strikers, Bandai, Tencent, and Soliel. This has to do with, your update patches and what you're planning to do with Season 5. It's, saying, if you fix this, it's completely up to you. The only thing I could say is thank you for all the things that you've already have fixed. I and a lot of others have seen that you have been trying to make this game better and fix certain issues, and I thank you for that. I have to give credit where credit is due. Now, moving on to what I was talking about previously when it comes to movement in this game. The number one problem in this game, Bandai, is that this gameplay also has to do with what I'm doing right now. So the gameplay you're seeing in the background has to do with what I'm talking about. So, as I'm playing this game, or just like others who will be playing this game, this is basically like a scenario type of video that I'm doing right now. Just showing you the problems with the combat for your mechanics for this game. There's some things that you did for your mechanics that makes this game fun and cool, Bandai. And there's just some things that should be tweaked or fixed a little. So for instance, the main reason why people like me and others will use Scientific Ninja Tool claws is because most of the fights are in the air. You know what I'm saying? It's not just that. A lot of reasons why a lot of us don't even bother doing ground combos is because of how your mechanics need to be fixed in the first place. So before I get into it, I need to explain one little thing. Like your patch update with the Scientific Ninja Tool claws, how you nerfed one of the Ninja Tool claws for the ground combos. I don't see why you'd have to nerf the ground combos when most of the fights, as I said, are done in the air. Most of the combat is done in the air. Why? Well, just look at the gameplay right now, right? I'm going to explain something. Alright, you see how I'm dashing? The snake-like movement I'm doing with dashing towards my opponent. Basically doing, footwork, juking my opponent. I like to call this movement Viper dashing. So, basically, don't worry, the video's gonna, basically, I put the video in a loop so then you'll see exactly what's going on. So what's going on is, say I target a person, right? I locked onto someone, and I'm using your mechanic for dashing, to get in on my opponent, or to get my combos in, right? Obviously, like I said about, dashing towards them, moving back and forth. I'm saying a high advanced movement, right? Now, the main reason why a lot of us don't bother doing stuff like this is, like I said, the main problem with what you see right now is people who third party. So, because of this, it's already difficult to do combos on our opponents or even do ground combos. So it's like, why would you want to do ground combos in the first place, right? Because some of the ground combos are actually more fun than the air combos when it comes to certain weapons that don't have a bunch of... So basically the main point is, say you're actually trying, how basically I'm showing in this video how I'm locking onto my opponent, right? So let's say, for instance, I lock into my opponent, right? And I'm trying to do a combo on them. And usually sometimes the reason why this isn't going to work for not just me but other people playing the game, you're locking on and then you're trying to, let's say basically you want to counter your opponent, right? You're going to try and sit there and maybe I should say block, like, not necessarily block, but you're basically going to sit there and wait for your opponent as they're trying to dash towards you, like this person right here is doing, right? And then you're going to try and, let's say, use a counterattack, right? Now, what's the only problem with trying to do a counterattack against someone in this game when it comes to these play mechanics? And that's what I need to explain, Bandai, Tencent, Soliel, is, let's fit, like, for instance, when I talked about locking onto your opponent and trying to counterattack, right? Even when you're not locked on. So the problem is, let's say if your character's fighting in the air and you're trying to hit them before they hit you, but you're trying to do like a ground combo to do a combo setup on your opponent to set them up for a big combo, right? But what your character will end up doing is that they'll start automatically dashing towards your opponent, like how your opponent's dashing towards you. And it's kind of like you're not trying to do that. What you're trying to do is, counter your opponent. Like, let's say, for instance, in a fighting game like Street Fighter or Guilty Gear for the PS2, right? You're obviously trying to wait for your opponent to have your opponent run into your own fist rather than you trying to jump in the air with them. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's fine for a mechanic like this, the whole auto dash thing, but maybe Bandai, what you can do is make a command with the controls, like an input, like maybe you press square and L2 both at the exact same time, similar to a mechanic like with Dragon Ball Xenoverse, how you have a bunch of different variety of ways of dashing towards your opponent, kind of like the movement I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Because what I'm doing with your mechanic is I'm using your L2 button basically to dash, sidestep my opponent. And then I cancel with the square button, and then dash cancel with the L2 button. Basically, what I'm doing is sidestep, dash, cancel dashing, basically. So what I call this mechanic is Viper dashing, because it's similar to a snake-like pattern. Something I came up with. But the main reason why I brought that up when it comes to Viper dashing is basically when you're, like I said about the whole dashing thing, what I'm saying is we should have like an auto dash, but maybe we should have something that allows us to have more control over our movements with our characters, like in Xenoverse. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe sometimes you just want to be flashy, right? And you're doing this movement, or you really are trying to dodge your opponent or dodge certain ninjutsu, right? But you end up not being able to use your movements because it's like your movement is predicated towards what your opponent is doing. So like I said, with your opponent's in the air, like you're trying to do your dash cancel, right? Your Viper dashing, and then when you try to do it, if the moment your opponent jumps in the air, you're saying it messes up your whole setup. You're not able to do that unless your opponent is on the ground. So you see what I'm saying? It's like like I said, the game is predicated on where your opponent, like what your opponent's doing and where your opponent is. So it's kind of like I can't really use my own fighting style because my character is automatically going to be doing stuff based on my opponent, whether they're in the air or on the ground. You see what I'm saying, Bandai, Tencent, and Soliel? So what basically makes your movements more difficult to do in this game when it comes to combos and setup combos and things like that, or you're trying to use a certain movement pattern in this game, the main issue is, like I said, the constant third party and people ganging up on you. It's not just that. So it's like, I need to say this because you're dealing with that, right? But you're also dealing with people who use broken ninjutsu like the Sharingan for the attack types, right? So there's people that will use stuff like that, and they'll have like an unlimited amount of substitution jutsus. They'll have like 5 or 10 different substitution jutsus so that you can't hit your opponent. And it's not just like one person will be doing this. You might be playing against a whole team who's using the same method, and then it just makes the game more annoying. It's just like, so I'm getting third party, now I gotta deal with even more substitution jutsus, dealing with my opponent's substitution jutsus. And that's also, the Sharingan I need to bring that up also because of how broken it is. It's just like, and I need to bring this up because just like with Oboe, how people say that it should be nerfed. If Oboe gets nerfed for not being able to lock a person's substitution jutsu, then Bandai, Tencent, Soliel, what you need to do is you need to start nerfing all the substitution jutsus, especially ninja tools that allow you to spam substitution jutsus, like the scientific ninja tool for like the shadow clone ninjutsu thing that helps refill your substitution jutsus. Stuff like that has to be nerfed as well. If Oboe gets nerfed, then all the other substitution jutsu stuff needs to be nerfed. Especially when it comes to equipment for more substitution jutsus. Because I know a lot of people will use tactics like this just so no one can hit them. Now, I use Sharingan, right? But my main reason for why I use Sharingan a lot while using it with the claws is because I'm always getting third party. Because why am I getting third party? Why are other people getting third party? Because there are people that literally are not good at the game and they know that they have to gang up on you because they can't 1v1 you. And that's literally the main reason why people will third party or gang up on you, because they can't handle one person, so they're gonna gang up on you. When they know that you're skillful, that's what people do, is third party. Because they can't handle the 1v1. Now, other than that, getting back to your mechanics, Bandai, all these things you have to do, that we have to deal with just to get a combo off or movement off, that's the problem with your game. That's why a lot of us use claws. Always doing air combos stuff. I don't see the point of you trying to nerf ground combos for one of the ninja tool claws when we barely even fight on the ground. Like, a lot of people barely fight on the ground because you're literally constantly fighting in the air, because not only are you fighting on the ground, I mean like in the air, but most of the times your opponent's fighting in the air because of certain ninjutsu or their weapons that they're using, or like I said, your auto dash mechanic, stuff like this. Or, then as soon as someone uses the substitution jutsu, then, I'm saying, it's just a big mess. That's like the best way to put it for your mechanics for your game, Bandai. So basically what I'm saying is that your mechanics need to be fixed for your Season 5 update. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you fix it to where we have more fluid movement for when it comes to using your mechanics, especially when it comes to doing combos. And that's why a lot of us don't do ground combos, because it's basically not even worth doing a ground combo because of stuff like this. Now that I've said that, Bandai, Tencent, Soliel, I'm moving on to another scene. Okay, this is me doing a ground combo, right? Here's your other problem, not just whether you're on the ground or in the air, is that you can't see your combos properly when you're doing combos, like when you're near a wall, or I believe in some other instances when you're doing combos, or maybe you're getting ganged up on, or whatever's going on while you're fighting your opponent. There are a lot of instances where you can't see your opponent, or you can't see what's going on around you, or see yourself. And Bandai, Tencent, Soliel, this is one of the main problems with your games, not just Shinobi Strikers, but in a lot of your other games, is that a lot of your games have issues with too many issues when it comes to the walls, where the camera control. That's what I need to say. There we go. Yeah, the camera control. That's the problem with your game, and that's what I've been seeing from a lot of publishers lately, including your games, is that it has bad camera control. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, this is something that needs to be fixed for the new update. That this whole thing, not being able to see your opponent or yourself or what's going on around you because you're near a wall, you need to fix this problem. And I'm not the only one having this problem. It's an issue for a lot of people. This needs to be fixed. And finally, Bandai, Tencent, Soliel, I'm going to be showing you one last clip of me basically getting third-partied on just for doing a combo. This happens a lot. By the way, people will third-party you because you're doing combos. When people see you doing combos, that's when they really third-party. See, like right here with my ground combo, right? As soon as I get off. And by the way, the person's teammate who was stopping me from doing my combos, they were using the, what's it called? See, stuff like this, third partying, that's what people find annoying when it comes to the healer class being toxic, is that they'll sit there and camp like in a Call of Duty game and start sniping you with the Shinobi, and then they'll proceed to use Itachi's ult to stop you and anyone else from doing anything, especially when you and your teammates are doing combos. Bandai, Tencent, Soliel, I really hope you fix healers, especially when it comes to, you know, the ridiculous, you know, Yosaka beads when it comes to pitfalling, because that's what the Yosaka beads are also used for, is pitfalling your opponent. That is something you could also consider cheating, not only modding. But yeah, hopefully this is something that also gets fixed. And this is also another reason why Bandai Tencent Soliel, that why we need new maps. I'm not just talking about you changing the way the maps look that we already have. I'm talking about also giving us new maps in a proper matchmaking mode, because we need new maps that have nothing to do with pitfalling, because people will take advantage of stuff like that and use it to cheat. With Itachi ult, Isaka beads, Ino ult, and Feather Illusion Jutsu, and even other jutsu for the other classes for pitfalling. Bandai, Tencent, Soliel, please fix these problems for the new Season Pass 5. Other than that, this is Huntsman9, and I'm out, and God bless you.